Hello everybody, Paul Rose here, and welcome to this new video, episode 1 of Holiday of a Lifetime, where I just want to tell you some stories, and some anecdotes, and some memories, and so on. If there is an episode 2 or a 3 or a 4, I don't know if there will be yet, but there's definitely an episode 1. Here we are. And specifically, I want to talk to you about this guitar, the story behind it. And I've deliberated for some time about whether or not to do this, because I don't want to be superficial or seem desperate for attention or brownie points or glory. I'm not. And so I've thought about it for those reasons quite deeply. And it was Jordan B. Peterson who said, if you have a story to tell, then you have to tell it. And so here we are. And the story of this guitar is, on the surface, like any kids in the 1970s loved rock music and pop music, the Sweet and Slade and so on. And we all wanted guitars, and some of my friends had guitars. And yeah. And we were I would say a functioning, certainly happy, funny, good laugh family. No big problems, no craziness going on in the house. And we didn't have a lot of money. We weren't rich by any stretch of the imagination, but we had each other. We loved each other and took each other for granted. And as kids, you know, you don't know what you've got till it's gone. So I would say around 74, 75, our father was diagnosed with cancer about that time. And he struggled with it for 2.5 years. And the dynamic changed in the home. And we didn't know what was going on. We weren't enlightened. We were being protected, you know. And I think there's a possibility that our parents thought that there might be a chance that they would beat it. But as the couple of years rolled on and you got into the last year, I think they twigged that these hospital visits and treatments were futile, and that there was going to be nothing what anybody could do, you know. And I remember as a kid I didn't get it, but I look back now and I remember, and it was a really, really tough time. It was a dark time, and some stuff went on there that I'm not going to share. It's just, you know, just not very pleasant, very sad, and very difficult. And, you know, and then the end result was our father died of throat cancer on the night of the 15th of December, 1977, 10 days before Christmas. And his funeral was the day before Christmas Eve. Yeah, I was 11 years old, and I mean, I just didn't know what had happened. You know, it was just too much to process. You know. And our mother, she was absolutely crushed, and she never really recovered. She got on with life. She eventually, after years, picked herself up, but she never fully got over it. And she said that. I can remember her saying that many times in her last months and years as she was getting older. She says, "I think about your dad every day, and I cry for him," and that. And, you know, and it's a long time ago. It's 1977. And I haven't got over it. I mean, I was deeply traumatized by some of the memories of what went on, you know, and I've done EMDR therapy and Alcoholics Anonymous and talking therapy and all of this, that, and the other. And I've got a great life. I'm fulfilled, but I still struggle with it, especially at Christmas, and we're approaching Christmas now. Now, I want to tell you both sides of the story, because there's a very positive outcome, but there's a very dark passage that leads to that outcome. And I was having trouble at school before my father got ill. The headmistress at my primary school wanted to send me to a special needs school or learning difficulties, whatever it was. My mother said, "No, you're not. And and then my father got ill, and and I was, things changed. So anyway, somewhere between the 15th and the 25th of December, our father's elder brother, our Uncle Harry, went out and bought my brother a drum kit, and he bought me this guitar. Still got it. It's still here. And Christmas Day, 1977. And this photograph is my brother and me on Christmas Day playing the new guitar and drums that Harry had brought. And I've vague recollections of my mother taking that photograph, standing in the bedroom doorway while we were, You can see I've got the beginnings of the rock faces are already there. And so I am indebted to Harry in a way that I can never express. I can never, ever. I mean, I don't know what Harry thought would maybe just save Christmas. Maybe that was all he was thinking. But what he did was he provided me with a magic carpet, with a spaceship, a time machine. And as we went on the records, Trower, Robin Trower, Richie Blackmore, Hendrix, Frank Marino, AC/DC. It was like a spaceship or a magic carpet that saved me, certainly saved me. And I had a tough time. I really struggled through young adulthood and right up. I'm 59 now, so I'm almost 60. In about 8 months, I'll be 60 years old. And, I'm not wanting to paint a sob story. No sob story. This is not a sob story. But, learning things, and I learned on this guitar the beginnings of everything I needed to have a life in music, I learned me pentatonic rock boxes, playing along to Robin Trower, Santana, Frank Marino. We used to have this little Goodman's Hi-Fi, and it had, record players had 75, 33, 45, but this one had 16. You could actually play a vinyl record at half speed. And so I would slow down Frank Marino records and Deep Purple records, and I would hear them playing these licks, and I would, that's that. And this really got me started, and I did auditions with this guitar. I did my first gigs with this guitar, the first band we had, and then I joined a band called the R&B Spitfires in Newcastle, and I did the audition with this guitar, and it set me on a path that's been priceless. It's taken me all around the world. And I'm profoundly grateful for it. And, when I got this guitar, it just, for me, it just clicked. It was like, right, that's it. That's what you're going to do. And it wasn't like, I am going to learn to play this, or I want to learn to play this, or I hope to learn this. I'm doing it. Yeah, and I don't mean that to sound arrogant. It's just like that. That's the end of it, and I still feel like that today. There's no turning back, and I clung to it from the get-go, from the word go, and I had some big trouble at school, and big trouble's maybe overstating it, but I struggled at school, and I was playing truant a lot. I didn't know it at the time, but I was traumatized. Unresolved grief, I was walking into pubs at 16 years of age. I was walking into pubs, and when the landlord of the pub said, "Pint of lager, Paul," I thought, hey, you've made it. The landlord knows your name. He knows what you want to drink. You're a man. You've made it. I was 16. My father had been dead 5 years. Nothing. I dealt with nothing. How can you? And and I had trouble at school. And one of the things that happened at school that, the main thing that happened at school that I still harbour resentment about, and I find it difficult to forgive, although it doesn't trouble me that much. I'm playing truant from school, and they catch me playing truant from school. What am I doing when I'm playing truant from school? Playing the guitar. I'm learning, teaching myself how to play the guitar to the Santana records and the Robin Trower records and the Deep Purple records. And they bring me into school and they hit me hands with a leather belt, slap me hands with a leather belt 10 times, 12 times, 6 times, whatever it was. My father hadn't been dead 12 months. And they're hitting me hands with a leather belt. And writing letters home to my mother saying, we're not happy with the progress Paul's making in English, maths, history, and whatever nonsense they were dishing up there. And in their infinite wisdom, they banned me from the music room. So you've got a choice. You go to school where grown men are going to beat you. You're banned from the thing that you love doing the most. And you're heartbroken and alienated because of unresolved grief and trauma. Or you say, fuck 'em, I'm still not going to school and I'm going to learn to play this thing. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what I'm going to do. And you can bring me back in and you can hit us with a leather belt again. And they did. Fuck 'em. Nothing's going to change. I will be this person. I will be this person. Got addicted to alcohol. I think a lot of the unresolved trauma, undiagnosed trauma and bereavement, unprocessed stuff, drove me to lots of all different kinds of things, addiction and alcoholism. And I haven't drank for a long time, but I'm still prone to bouts of depression and isolation. And I've done all the therapies, I've done all the meditations, and I'm much, 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 much better than I was back then. Of course I am, but I'm still prone to these bouts of depression and isolation. And an old friend of mine from the East End of London, who's a fellow recovered alcoholic, said, maybe that's just the way you are, Paul. Maybe that's just the way it's going to be. Accept yourself for who and what you are. And so, there we are. That's the story. I've had a great time. I owe Harry everything. I don't know what would have happened if I hadn't got this guitar. Maybe I would have got another guitar later on. Maybe the story would have been different. But if I hadn't have got a guitar, with the life that I was living and the things I was getting up to, I think I'd be one of two things: dead or damaged beyond repair. And if I hadn't had that moment where I sobered up and went to Alcoholics Anonymous on the 25th of April 1995, nothing that I've done would have happened. Nothing would have happened. So, this guitar was saved my soul. And as a result of sticking with it and devoting myself to it, maybe as a tribute to Harry, maybe as a tribute to my father, and not being able to find anything else in life that interests me enough to make me want to do it as much as this. I've been all over the world. I've got friends all over the world, in America and all over Europe, Germany, everywhere, loads of, and I've experienced some great things, truly amazing things in recovery from alcoholism and as a guitar player traveling the world. I've had some great times and I've got no regrets, and it's was it worth it? Oh, I'll say I wouldn't go back. Would you change anything? Oh, that's a difficult one. You can't change anything, so let's not even bother asking the question. But, George Frederick Handel, I listen to a lot of classical music. My father was a classical music nut. My mother listened to the Carpenters, the Bee Gees, Glenn Campbell, Wings, ABBA, Chris Christopherson. So she was into the high-end stuff. My dad was into the classics. Tchaikovsky, Stravinsky, Beethoven, Bach, violin concertos. He loved the violin concertos, So I listened to a lot of classical music. And I sort of owe a lot of that to my dad as well. And I listen to classical music because I don't have to dissect it. If I listen to guitar music now, I think, he's on the bridge pickup, or he's pentatonic, or he's mixolydian, he's just that, and I can't switch off from it. So I like to listen to music that's above my pay grade, like jazz and classics. So I can just switch off and listen to the music, And George Frederick Handel has a piece called "Calm Thou My Soul, Convey Me to Some Peaceful Shore." And the lyrics, I'm going to recite the lyrics to you, or the text, as you might say, in classical or in Germany. And what Harry did with this guitar, and what this guitar and the music brought me, is beautifully encapsulated in Handel's text of "Convey Me to Some Peaceful Shore." That's what this guitar did for me. So I hope you found that interesting, folks. Episode 2. We'll see how you like this one first. Thank you very much if you've got to the end, and I appreciate your attention and your interest and your appreciation I appreciate your appreciation. And let's see what happens next. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.